Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. When we think about our mental health, let's check in on mental health. As a Christian, I believe, and anyone that is practicing spiritually, they're going to have to or make a decision to begin to look at the thoughts that are going around in their head. As you observe right now in this time, the thoughts that are going around in your head, you can also feel and recognize that those thoughts begin to move through your body, whether they're good thoughts or negative thoughts. So I had, experience which I'm used to. I was at work a couple of days ago, and I heard these sheep are not of your fold. And so I said, oh, okay, because I know John 10. And I went on in my day to begin to work. Now I know that in my experience of life, I can not experience manifestations unless I think first, because we think and then we manifest. That's how life is. God has given us the power to manifest things, even in Jeremiah. When you really read it and you look at Jeremiah chapter 1, God is telling Jeremiah about wars that's coming, but he's asking him to look at the things that he sees in his mind as God is directing him. Now, if we read that, that can be a point of contact to help us with our thoughts. I'm not asking us to be at war within ourselves, but I'm asking us to shut down the wars. The wars within us usually are inner conflict from the past, and a lot of people don't want to study things that they're not familiar with. They want to study familiar things. I remember someone wrote a book about familiar spirits. I can't remember the name. Oh, I think it was Kim Daniels. I can't remember the whole name, but anyway, people are speaking about familiar spirits, but they don't think about familiar thoughts. Familiar thoughts are thoughts that will get you trapped or keep you trapped. Why? Because it's what you're used to looking at, especially if you did work and you've progressed in your life, moved forward, and a season comes and you got to really um, pass your test now. You got to pass your spiritual test, so that you can get the manifestation that is connected to that spiritual testing. And here we are again with looking at situations where we as humans don't look at practicing maybe what we preach. You may not be a preacher, but if you practice something, then you're talking about it. So if you practice spirituality and you're feeling good, for a month or 2 months, then what you want to do is maintain that. You don't want to fall back from your maintenance, or even if you are working out, you don't want to fall back from your maintenance of working out, because what happens is that old self is in conflict with you, trying to get you to go back to where you came from. Now, you can't keep pushing in the exercise if your body is hurting. You're going to have to slow it down, right? So that's one way of looking at it. When we look at it the spiritual way, um, and from the perspective that these sheep are not yours, I sat on that, because a person that's impulsive would think these are not my sheep, so I don't belong here. You know what I'm saying? That's not always the case. Sometimes we got to look at where we came from, because there was a day when I was a sheep, period. And the changes in me, because I practice every day to be a better person through spirituality, meditation, and praying. It's converted me from being a sheep. That's why Jesus had the sheep. Even in the Bible, it talks about the goats, and then it also talks about the 70. And these are the aspects of individuals that are changing, because you'll always have the masses, and then he had the 70, and then he had the 12. So the 12 were the ones that were called to him, that had that calling that could help the 70 and then go and help the masses. Now, moving back into these sheep are not of your fold, I got up the next morning and I heard it's think about what you're thinking. I heard think your thoughts. I was led to look at my thoughts, which is so wonderful, because when you have the ability to look at your thoughts, you can realign your whole body with what's true and let go of what's not. Sometimes you have been put, again, in thoughts of the past. You've been put there because they rise from the depths, because they need to be healed for sure. You need that testing. 40 days and 40 nights fasting, like Jesus did, tempted in the wilderness. The thoughts of the sheep is wilderness experience, because shepherds usually lead the sheep through pastures, right? And pastures have sometimes grass, but then you could look at sometimes they have desert areas, because in the area of Israel and Jerusalem, where he was at, the sheep were going through, on a physical level, the desert. So you're leading them through somewhat of a desert to get to another place, and it doesn't have to be a long adventure. So in your mind, you want to look at dumb thoughts. I was teaching my leadership class Tuesday. This because we talk about business and old ideas which are not conducive or productive. They remind me of dumb sheep, because sheep are not smart. They have to be led. I talked to a guy years ago, and he was talking to me about how he was raised up on a farm and that the sheep were not smart at all. I mean, I don't even want to say how he said they were just immature, not smart, right? So, moving on with that, just because we live in a material world does not mean that everything that we see and hear, or that even if God speaks to us, that it means that it has to be on a material plane. And sometimes we have to get out of the mindset that everything that God says to us about something that is not going to make us feel good is not about others. It's something about us, because God brings correction to those that he loves. So, for instance, if I was thinking out of order, which I feel like that's what it was, I was having a lot of thoughts that were thoughts of pain, and the spirit, because I had been praying, and I did ask people that I work with in my leadership group if they wanted to fast, and some of them said yes. So I started fasting when Venus retrograde started, because I know that Venus retrograde is an energy that's going to take you into your past thinking. And what you have to do is nullify and cast out those old thoughts. You have to work on yourself when Venus is in retrograde. And when Venus is in retrograde, 40 days and 40 nights, just like Jesus having been in the wilderness. Venus is far away from the planet. I was talking to some of the people I work with, because we work in mental health. And with that being said, when Venus is far away from the earth, there's not as much love in the earth, because that's the energy that the Venus or Venusian energy gives us, right? That Venusian energy is very conducive to what Jesus was teaching everyone. The thing about love is that you can know love in so many different ways, but from the love of Christ, I believe that we're given the love of Christ, which means that we have to nullify dumb thoughts, sheep thoughts, in order to get the love of Christ. The love of Christ is an unconditional love, and the love of Christ, once we get it, even if the energies of the universe are doing things or moving in a way where it's causing a purge in our planet, we have the ability to maintain love, because we are practicing spirituality. When you go into the place where there's light workers and, everyone meditating, and we begin to look at practicing prayer and all of those kind of things, this prayer time is supposed to maintain us when dark days come. So, the point that I wanted to make coming in is, with Jesus, he says that my sheep hear me, and a stranger they won't follow. When you realize that it's not just the pastor or your leader, right? That's helping you to make the changes internally that you need to, according to your spiritual walk, Christianity, if you're Buddhist, whatever your walk is, but that you're helping yourself and you're beginning to identify ideas and thoughts about yourself that need to be released and put in a garbage can, no more ever to experience or talk about. Then you know that your love walk and the maintenance and prayers that you have been praying is working. There's no one in this earth that's not going to feel pain. We're all going to feel pain, because pain is an indicator of our growth. If we're triggered, we will not respond. If we're triggered and we respond, then we know we need to go back to that area that we're triggered in and deal with it. So my sheep hear my voice. They hear my voice, and they will not follow internal urges and pains to respond to hurt. They will pray to God about that hurt and follow God, because the sheep are the only one that are going to stray. And if we cannot hold on to the voice of God and we begin to stray and follow the voice of the stranger, then we have to start the work all over again concerning our spiritual practices, which is okay. We can fall, but we get back up, right? But knowledge is so wonderful when God can come in and say, those are not your sheep. Maybe what you are thinking about is not the God thinking that you should. That's the way that I looked at it. Kim, those are not your sheep. You need to get rid of those thoughts. That's not your sheep. That's not going to produce you anything. All right? So release it, let go, and breathe. Breathe, release, let go. Breathe, release, and let go. Focus on yourself right now and understand the times that we're in. And nothing lasts forever. But we can't wait to begin to work on ourselves, meaning spiritual changes. We have to embrace spirituality, because we are humans, but we're spiritual beings. Yes. So I just wanted to come on. I hope that that helps someone. You guys can email me at kim.warner27@gmail.com. And have a wonderful week, and keep moving forward, keep looking forward, keep progressing forward. Let the sheep from the past go. And that doesn't mean that we're not talking about outside stuff, by the way. We're talking about the pain that you may be experiencing within. Once you are able to regulate pain within yourself and begin to release it, life begins to change on the outside, because the pain of inside, the pain that we carry inside, is what we have to work on so that we can manifest better things outside. Be blessed. Have a wonderful day, evening, wherever you are in the world. Bye bye.